Look into my eyes. Do you see fear? You come at me with sword and spear, but I come in the name of the God of Israel. Yes! Right between the eyes! Did you see that? Anyone? Of course not. Okay then, one more time. Tally, not now! I'm trying to protect us from this Philistine. Whoa! No, not that way. Come on. Back to your mom. Right, Philistine. Oh, wait! Right between the eyes. Oh, of course. That one you saw. Tally! Tally, no! I'm coming, girl! Whoa, easy! Shira! I will bring her home safely. Whoa! Tally, wait, no! There you go. I'm almost there. Okay.
Oh! Whew! Tally, stop! No!
Oh, that doesn't help.
That does. Stop!
Thank you. Yena haleni nafshi yeshove yancheni b'mgalet tzedek leman shemo.
What you have just watched is a concept short or a musical animated feature film on the story of David, and our vision is to tell it in the same quality as movies like Tangled and Frozen. This is more than a movie. This is a movement to join people from all over the world to try and make the world's most watched animated theatrical release. You can show your interest in investing by going to angel.com/David. Growing up in the wild of Africa was the most incredible experience, and it was there that I bumped into the most amazing character of God and fell in love with him. At the same time, I was reading David's story, and it just really struck me. On one particular canoe trip on the Zambezi River, where you could canoe for days and not see a human being, I was reading the scriptures and I read, "I found in David, son of Jesse, a man after my own heart." And I thought how amazing it would be to do a film that could give people all over the world a glimpse into God's heart. We grew up on a farm that had no electricity. I only saw my first film when I was 14 years old, and it was such an electric experience. I was blown away by the power of film and the power of story to connect with people and move people. And from that day, I became passionate to tell a story on the life of David. The question is, can a group of farmers from Africa make a global hit that's going to reach the world? This is in and of itself an incredible David versus Goliath story.
There's an African proverb that says, if you want to go fast, go alone, but if you want to go far, go together. And in order to tell a story as big as David, we need people from all around the world to come together.
Over the last 20 years, Jackie and I have just been blown away by how God has miraculously drawn talent to us. Now we have the most awesome, high-quality team.
Like Nathan Stanton, who spent 22 years at Pixar, Jonas Myron, a Grammy Award-winning musician, Borja Montoura, a Disney animation alumni, other talent from massive films like Big Hero 6, Tangled, Finding Nemo, Zootopia, Moana, Prince of Egypt, and many more.
Our first breakout hit is Jungle Beat, an incredible and beautiful show. On our YouTube channel, we get over 2 billion views a year. We've got 7 million subscribers. We also recently released our first animated feature film called Jungle Beat the Movie. And incredibly, it was on Netflix's top 10 for over 2 weeks, both live action and animated feature films in the US. We are also doing a theatrical release of Jungle Beat the Movie in China later this year, and are in production of Jungle Beat the Movie 2. What really excites me is if you take Jungle Beat the Movie, we produced that for $5 million. And I'd really encourage you to go and watch it on Netflix to see the quality of movie we produce for that price. And just imagine the quality of movie we could produce on David with the proper budget. With David, we considered the route of engaging with Hollywood, and there is significant interest down that route. But we really felt that from a creative point of view, we need to stay the head and not the tail of this project. And it's a slingshot, like David went with a slingshot to fight Goliath. We really believe that the strategy needs to be outside the Hollywood system for it to work. In this vein, we are thrilled to be working with Angel Studios for distribution. Angel Studios did the TV series The Chosen, which has become the world's biggest TV series on the life of Jesus Christ. The Chosen has generated hundreds of millions of views and tens of millions of dollars. We've already got $19 million of investments and need another $35 million to complete this project. We need your help to bring God's heart to the world through the story of David. Go to angel.com/David to show your support for this project now. And let's join together to try and make the world's most watched animated theatrical release.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. I am Brent Dawes. I'm writer and director of David the movie, along with Phil Cunningham, who you just saw talking then. Phil is actually presently in Israel at the moment doing further work on the project, more research, meeting more people, which is so exciting. And thank you so much for joining me this evening. Just to give you a quick heads up as to what you can expect, fireworks. I'm going to be talking about something that I call from page to picture, sort of speaking quite specifically about how we go from the words to the concept art, and it's going to be a deep dive. So if there's any lovers of the process of movie making and the process of animation, this is the live stream for you. So I'm going to go into that. Also letting you know that the reason for this evening is just to tell you about the project, and that we're trying to gauge interest to see if you're interested in investing in the feature film if we opened up an investment round down the line. So if you can, you're welcome to go to angel.com/David, and you can express interest with a certain amount there if you are interested, and you'll see things come up on the screen there, and as they come up I'll be distracted by them. However, I saw some come up a little while ago and I was so focused on the camera that I didn't see them. So before we started, I already had seen people starting to engage, which is just fantastic. People from Canada, Florida, all over. So wonderful to have you. Also to let you know that we are running a competition on social media to win a printed copy of one of the pieces of concept art. I won't be talking about that art tonight, but this is what it looks like. And I magically do this and hope it comes up. Okay, it'll come up just now in a moment. There we go. So all you have to do is comment in social media, and I believe that's what gains you an entry. And I'm going to be announcing who the winner is at the end of this live stream. So stick around for that. Additionally, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to send those along. Oh, thank you for Deborah for showing your interest there. Once I'm done my talk on the concept art, I'm going to take some questions and answer any questions that you might have. So please start sending those through, and the team will start correlating those to pop up on the screen for me. Tonight, I'm not talking specifically about the feature film, but another very exciting aspect of the David world that we're creating. We've partnered with a company called Minnow, who is a Christian streaming service for kids and families. And they have partnered with us to make 5 David shorts, which is just so exciting. So it's almost like little mini prequels to the feature film. It's absolutely living in the same world. And the 5 shorts take one aspect of David's character each. So there's one based on poet, shepherd, warrior, king, and worshipper, which is just a wonderful challenge and a wonderful thing to do. And I'm going to be speaking about the start of one of those shorts today. I'm actually going to read the opening of that short, and then take you on the process as to how we sort of bring that from page to the screen. And again, I'm going to probably keep saying this, and probably better to say it more often than not. Go to angel.com/David to express interest in the project. And let me see what else I need to tell you before I get going. Oh, just on the Minnow front, and on the David shorts, they're going to be released next autumn, so autumn 2023. And you can go to gominnow.com, which is GOMINNO.com, and you can check them out there. It's a great streaming platform, wonderful Christian family content available there. And it's just so wonderful to partner with them. And these projects are just so exciting for us because we get to live in the world of David before we get to the feature film. We get to know him, experience him. James from Massachusetts, thank you so much for that. And so, without further ado, one last thing, please like, share, and comment. The more activity we have, Dominique, thank you so much from Kentucky, that's wonderful. the more activity we get on social media, the more the algorithms spread it out and the more people find out about what we're doing. So, right, I'm diving straight in. So, literally from page to picture. So I've got a page here of the script, and this is from the short of King. I'm going to read you probably half a page of this, and so you've got to watch me read for a little bit, and then I'm going to take you on the exciting journey of how this comes to life. Okay, so exterior entrance to a wadi, daytime. We open on a close-up of a hand. Wow, Kent, you distracted me there. Thank you so much. And Bruno, thank you so much. It's so wonderful to see all the support that we're getting for the project. So we open on a close-up of a hand. The gentle sound of running water can be heard in the background. A thin cord gripped between young fingers. The hand is drawing the cord and pulling it taut. Then carefully wraps the end, looping it around a peg that sits atop the crossbar of a crude lyre. It's the last of 10 strings. A sheep's muzzle comes in and starts gnawing on the wood of the lyre. The hand strokes the muzzle, then gently pushes it away. The muzzle lunges in again. We cut wider as David swings the lyre away. And he says, "Na'a, Gabor." David focuses on the lyre again, but his attention is drawn to Tali, who's been nuzzling in his shepherd's bag on the ground and got herself caught. He lays the lyre down and reaches to help Tali. As he does so, Gabor leans forward towards the lyre. David knows Gabor well. David, leave it. Gabor acts all innocent. Okay, there you go. So there's a nice little gentle setup. David is out shepherding and he is fixing his lyre. And there's sheep around in there, and a couple of them are engaging. Betty, thank you so much. That is so wonderful. So I wonder if, as I was reading that, if you were able to picture the scene. But at this point in time, that is all that exists. Words on a page, you know, and I think people are often surprised why does animation take so long, and why is it so slow? And this is why, because at this point in time, that's all there is. You know, if you're doing a live action movie, you can go scout a location, you'll take a team there, all your trees and rocks and everything are there, and you get a camera, and as you film, it is recorded. That's making live action sound very easy. It's not, but nothing exists in animation until we create it. So, the first thing on the script, exterior, entrance to a wadi, day. What does that look like? So, step one is we go to Israel, we do our research, and we find out what does a wadi look like in Israel. And I'm going to share an image with you now, which is, it's a mashup that our production designer Linton has put together. So we went to this place. It's a real place in Israel. A beautiful area, and amazingly, from looking at this, there's this lovely water. You see some greenery around. Everything around us is completely dry, but this area has this river running through it, a gentle stream just bringing life into the desert, which is just so wonderful. So Linton went through all of our research materials and he found these photos and put them together and said, okay, this feels like a great spot for this to take place. So that is a huge win for us because, okay, so now we've got some reference for what it is that we need to create. But this is photorealistic, and we don't want that. If we wanted that, we'd be doing this as a live action movie. We're going to be doing animation, and what you need to do in animation is to really, if you look at this image, there are a lot of elements here. You know, so there's bushes, there's rocks, there's grasses, and what have you. And the thing that we noticed about Israel is how busy the landscape is. It may not have an incredible amount of plants and what have you, but what's there is incredibly busy. So the bushes have very small leaves, very small sticks and things, and those things are very tricky to create in art and in animation. So there's a process we have to go through where we unpack all of that. Now, the order of the images I'm going to show you is the next image is a bit of a spoiler, because it's the image that we landed on that ended up being our location. So if you look at this image now, and then we're going to skip to the next image, that is our interpretation of that landscape through the lens of trying to simplify it, find shapes, a shape language and a design language that's really appealing. And this is not the end, and nor is it the beginning. It is part of the process. Thank you so much, Jonathan. And just again, as a reminder, I can just see those people expressing interest there, which is just so wonderful. If you'd like to, go to angel.com/David, and also comment and post questions. And if you do on the social media platforms, you'll automatically gain entry into to win that wonderful piece of concept art, which I will reveal the winner of at the end of this. So here is a picture which represents that location that we went to. But within this picture as well, there are so many bits and pieces. So if we go to the next slide, you're going to be seeing some rock artwork that's been done, because no rocks exist, and the team, the CG team, the animators down the line have to know, okay, well, what do these rocks actually look like? What do the pebbles actually look like? What is the design language? And so this is, and just by the way, I'm showing you, this feels like a deep dive, and it's a deeper dive than usual, but I can tell you there's probably about 10 other pages that have rocks and pebbles as well. The top angle, the side angle, the bottom angle, and again, our production designer has designed these in a way that they can almost like, it's not really like Legos, but I guess it is, can be assembled to create different shapes so that the team can build this whole world from that. So there are our rocks. And then once we've got our rocks, we've also got plant life and foliage. So if we go to the next image, we've got some research into this, this date palm. And again, as I was talking about the fact that the foliage is busy, you can see how much detail there is on those leaves. And so all this work, and yes, the amount of detail, absolutely. And you can see all this work that's being done here, and the drawings over it is just to try and understand, okay, so what is it that creates the aesthetic appeal of this? And we can go to the next slide as well. And again, now we're looking at the fruit. Okay, so what is the simple shape that shows how this fruit holds together? How do the dates look? How are they clumped? All these things. And then we go to the next slide. And this shows how our artist has now taken that date palm, unpacked it, and designed it in a way that is palatable for our animators to get a hold of, and they can make sense of, and now start to create it. And you can see on the right there, those leaves, just adding little bits of stylization to the silhouette of this thing just brings it into a much more aesthetically pleasing and crafted world than if we had just copied the live action image that you'd seen. Yeah, I agree. I see someone saying that the talent is so amazing, and I can't do any of this. So I'm a fan along with all of you. I can't believe what our team of artists are able to do. It's so I can take a blank page and put words on it, but they take a blank screen and blank page and just bring the world to life, which is just so amazing. And that's so wonderful. That I love that comment. Images look just like what we saw in Israel during a visit a few years ago, and that's absolutely what we're wanting to do. Another production designer that we had on board, John Burton, said that what he wanted to do with the movie was transport people to Israel. That this is actually a love letter to Israel, and I just love that. I think that's just a wonderful thing. And if when people watch this movie, if they've been to Israel, if they recognize it, or if you haven't been to Israel, it feels like you've gone there, then that is just fantastic. Right, so that's date palms out of the way, but that's just one tree. And now the bushes in Israel are crazy. They, I don't know what it is. I'm sure there is some sort of, Catherine, thank you so much for that. I'm sure there's some sort of reason that all the leaves are little and everything. But if you look at those images on the right, you can see the thorns and the sticks kind of almost make up like a chicken mesh pattern. It's fascinating. But the team needs to figure out, okay, well, what does this look like in our animated world? And you can see them on the left-hand side just making sense of how the leaves work, to create pleasing shapes, pleasing flow. And if we had time, I would stop and read all these things because it's fascinating. We actually are going to read a couple of things in a moment. But let's move on and show you the next stage of bushes. So thank you, Anonymous, for showing interest there. One of the principles that our production designer came up with was of trying to find large, medium, and small shapes within an object to help simplify it. So you can see on the left there, there's like a large portion of bush, a medium, and then a small, which just helps to simplify a complex thing. And you can see all these flows of line that he's finding interesting. And if you go to the next image, you'll see what the concept art for our bushes actually are. And there is a busyness there, but there's an organizedness to it. So it still feels it's a bush, but there's a style to it and an organization to it that helps to create that stylized world that we're looking for. Right, onto the next one, which is quite this one, the lyre. So the script, as we were reading the words, so and before I actually speak about the lyre here, I've lost my script. What did I do with it? It's somewhere. So the first thing we've done is the location, right? And that was the first sentence of the script, was location. And so it's where we are and it's what is in that location. And I've probably shown you, I'm going to say 10% of the art that's been created just for that location. I haven't shown you grass, and I haven't shown you the flowers, and I haven't shown you, there's water there, and it's like, how did the stones look through the water? And as I said with those rock pictures, I'm showing you 1 page of 10. It's just an unbelievable amount of work. The artwork needs to be done, and then it goes downstream, down the pipeline, it's called in animation. It goes down the pipe, and modelers, all of these things that you're seeing then need to go individuals who then create those, model them, create a model, who then paint them to create the color and texture on them. And this is all before one frame of the movie is made. It's all just prepping. This is getting ready, getting the world ready to be for the animators to bring the characters. It's just the most unbelievable process. I'm just going to read this here. I love how the artists here are able to bring out the shape and simplify it at the same time while adding to the style to it. It is, likewise, it's just an amazing thing to behold. Okay, so this lyre, this artwork that you were looking at for a little bit now, I just love the way that this has developed. The script calls for a lyre. Now, in one of the other shorts, the lyre has a prominent role in that it's given to David, and it's from his father, basically. So then we've got a backstory. It's like, oh, this is handed down from his father. And when I spoke to the production designer about that, he was like, okay, what is the backstory of this lyre? So there's research, what were the musical instruments like in that day, but also this is David's lyre and it's been in his family. Whose could this have been? And let's perhaps go to the next image here, and I'm going to read out what that says there. If you look on the top right, and I just love, let me read. The sons of Hezron that were born to him. This is from scripture. Jerahmeel, Ram, and Chelubai fathered Aminadab. Excuse me, I can't get the names right. Aminadab fathered Nashon. Okay, I'm going to not read all of that because I'm fumbling over the names. The point is the next paragraph here. I think this should be Nachshon's lyre. He is the one who experienced the Exodus. So what the scripture actually says is the genealogy of this person and how it goes down to Jesse's father. And our art director thought, well, how wonderful it would have been that we should have the idea that he made this lyre while through the desert to lift the spirits of the people. It could be made from acacia wood, from the scrap branches that were left after the poles were cut for the tabernacle. And so, as an audience, when you're watching this, you aren't going to know that. But the team behind this have got a story about this lyre, where it came from, whose it was, and it just adds a level of detail and richness to the story, which I believe you will feel as the audience. And let's go to the next image, because it's just got the most wonderful symbolism in it. So this is the back of the lyre, and the team just really liked the idea of, so it's been around now for a few generations, and that people have carved into it, and that there is real meaning and symbolism around what's going on here. I'm not sure how clear that is coming across for you. So this is the back of the lyre. It's looking flat here, just so it's easy for the artists to read. But you'll see in the middle there's those 4 words, 4 letters that are coming down there, and that is, I think it's Paleo-Hebrew, if that's the right term, which means hope. And you can see that then around that, this pomegranate tree, and it says pomegranate and leaves represents God's promise of the future fruitfulness and growth of the Hebrews. There are 7 branches that represent the golden lampstand, and there are 12 roots to that tree, which symbolize the 12 tribes of Israel and the firm foundation of God, whom they are rooted in. And then the flowers and grass represent the fertile ground and the land the Hebrews will be planted in. And I just love the fact that, again, you aren't going to necessarily see that as an audience, and certainly if you see it, you're not going to interpret that there's this depth of meaning behind it. But this is the level of detail and care that the team is going into to really just make this an amazingly rich world. And perhaps you can just go back one slide, please, because there's also this idea of the running up, the wood that is on the edge of the lyre. Sorry, words are eluding me. But that carved within that, there are these pomegranate leaves as well, and branches, and it's just such a wonderful thing. Now, there's a moment here I want to take. You're nerding out. I love that. Me too. And this is why I was like, this is really a proper deep dive. We don't often go this deep, but I just wanted to really give you an understanding of the amount of attention to detail that we're putting into this. And Angel team, if you could pop to that message of the demo that I asked you to line up. There's an Easter egg here for you people. I don't know if anyone has noticed this at all, but in the demo, we weren't sure how much we were going to be seeing there when we were first creating it, but we created a lyre. And if you look in the tree, in the fork of the tree, back there, you can see David's lyre leaning against the tree. Now that is not this lyre, because we hadn't gotten to that level of story or understanding there, but we wanted to have it there. And if you look down and then to the right, just at the base of the tree, there's this other little thing there, which is a leather bag, which is David's shepherd bag. And that is also playing a part in this short. So we put more effort. Oh, look, they're zooming in now. And the team that's zooming in didn't even know what I was going to show them. I said, I'm going to tell you live. But I just love the fact that it's there. No one will have seen it, but we took the time to actually make those and put them there. And now we get to let those things shine. Thank you. We can go away. And just again, a reminder to go to angel.com/David, and and that's where you can express interest in, if we were to open up a crowdfunding thing, if you'd like to be a part of that. Right, let's move on from the lyre. The script calls for a hand. Now, obviously, we've done the artwork for David already because of the demo, and we've done a lot more development. But we see an extreme close-up of his hand as he's tying one of the strings onto the lyre. And so we've done this study here, which I just love. It's the sort of thing as a director, you go to someone's screen and it's just so delightful to me. I'm not going to linger here, but isn't that just fantastic? Okay, so what else does the script call for? There's a sheep that comes in, and this is Gabor. He's actually a ram, and he is a recurring character through the shorts, and he's kind of like not all together with it. He gets himself into scrapes and into trouble, and so again we start with research. And once the research is done, we then move to some concept art. So let's go to the next slide. And this is Stephen, one of our concept artists, has put these together. Now you can see here we go up to number 28. So there's 20. So there's other pages with images as well. And to start with, you start very rough just to get ideas of shapes. It's a quick way to explore many different characters. To allow Phil, the other director, and myself to sort of find our character. So we didn't select any of these. We did in fact select, if you go to the next page, you can see the one that we did like, which was number 19. There was just a look in this guy's eye which reflected what we were really going for. And so again, this is now very simple. So we'll let the artist know, okay, we like this guy. Can you explore him further and bring him more into the 3D world that we're looking at? So if you go to the next picture, you can see how then we took this guy and started to develop, we keep him. So this is Gabor. This is not done in 3D yet in the computer, so this is artwork, so it's very gestural hair and fur still. But I can absolutely picture this guy leaning in to bite, to gnaw on the wood of the lyre. So that's this guy. And that's just one piece of artwork for him. There are multiple pieces of artwork that unpack different expressions of him, a turnaround of him to help the modelers to know how to make him. And that is Gabor. And then it also speaks of Tali. Let's go to the next image if we can. And again, Tali was designed in, oh, spoiler, one back, one forward. I'm not sure what happened to the Tali one. There we go. So Tali was designed in the demo, and we've just updated her designs slightly. But we've got loads of expressions, loads of character poses for her. And the nice thing is within these shorts, we're going to get to know Tali more. We're going to see David interacting more with her. And it's just a character that we love and we know that the audience loves as well. So now we've got our Gabor and we've got Tali. But the script also says that Tali is nuzzling in David's shepherd bag. So we then go to David's shepherd bag, which is the next image. And because she's nuzzling in it, David doesn't just have a bag with nothing. So then we think about, okay, well, what would he have with him when he's out shepherding? And this again is Linton just coming up with some ideas. So he's got a snack, which is some olive bread there. He's got a water bottle. He's got a little flint knife if he needs to maybe cut some wool free or something, I'm not sure. A little juglet with some olive oil in it, which we think that he maybe takes out and polishes his lyre with. A rope, because who doesn't need a rope? And some shears. And again, all of these things have really been researched for the time and then designed specifically. So we can go forward one and we look at each of these things. So here is the bag, and this is the way that piece of artwork is unpacked for the team downstream to show them how to make it and how it might bend or animate. Is it, how soft is it, how firm is it? And you can see everything is thought about. So how is the bag closed? Because they did not have poppers in those days. They did not have Velcro. So we've got this little wooden peg, which is there. And then let's move forward to the next thing. This is the bread. And so, again, we're not going to see this significantly in the short, but there will be things that fall out, and you'll see it for all of 2 seconds, and it'll feel like a lived-in world, and I just love, it's a bit of bread, but I just think it's fantastic. And I just love the detail that the artists go into to make sure that the team has all they need to be able to create this in 3D. And then let's go to the next thing, please. David's little flint knife. How does that look? And again, so all this artwork has been created. It now needs to go to another person who's going to spend, a couple of days, if not more, modeling this. It'll then go to another artist to add color and texture to it, and then gets put into the scene and what have you. It's a significant amount of work for a thing that plays no significant part in the story, but just brings richness to it. I just even love the little carvings in it. So, David's done that at some point. He was a bit bored and did that. Then what else have we got? Next, we've got the water bottle. I think you start getting the idea that a lot of work goes into all of this. So that's David's water bottle. Then the next thing is the shears, which also show up in another of the episodes. And again, these were researched and as to what they may have used back then to shear the wool off the sheep. And then the next thing we've got is the rope, which again I just think is fantastic in that you can see just in the same way that the palm leaves that we saw way earlier were really thought through, the shapes, and how that flowed. The same thing is done here, So what the rope diameter shape is not just round, and how does the rope curl? It's not just round. There's a little bit of character to the way that it turns and moves, and it's just so wonderful. And then the last little thing in David's bag is this little juglet. And what's so wonderful to me is I think that you can see me as well, as I've got in front of me here, this little thing, which on one of our research trips to Israel, we got this. So this is, it's all me now. This is a 3,000-year-old juglet. Thank you, Dawn from Georgia. That's wonderful. And we have the certificate of authentication, and we had to get the right paperwork so that this could actually leave the country. But this is a little juglet that was part of a much bigger jug, was placed on the top of it, and they would use this, dip it in to get olive oil out, and so it was just how to decant olive oil in small measures, I guess. So we've got this as a real authentic piece, and maybe we can go to the artwork again, of inspiration for what David has in his bag. And again, just adding a little bit of shape, a little bit of character, so that it lives in our world. It's got that design language and the shape. So now the next piece of art was, you can move straight there, is taken from what would have been a storyboard panel that was painted up. And this is before Gabor was designed. And so all this that you're seeing at the moment really is hot off the press. We are presently in production of these. We are presently creating all the assets for this very short. So this piece of artwork was done before Gabor was designed, but it gives us a sense of the framing of where David is sitting. And if Linton were here, he's not, so I'll tell you, all of the color language that we've also got going in this in the shorts and in the movie is coming through here. We've got this techelet blue, which represents God, which is coming through in the background there. And thank you, Nikki. And just by the way, Nikki works with us. Nikki's on the project. Nikki is the one that's going to be creating the color and texture on all these amazing things. So shout out to you, Nikki. Thank you so much. I'm glad you're watching. So this is a frame from the short. I say from the short. This is from before the short. This is concept art for it. This is a target to which we're aiming. And if you take everything that I've shown you, and from that script that I read earlier, we go to the next image, which is the populated piece of concept art for our location. It's got sheep in. It's got David up on the little tree there with his lyre. Got Tali on the ground, and this is just a piece that represents the feeling of how we'd like the beginning of this short to look, and that is just, you know, the opening couple of paragraphs. And then David, I can tell you now, I'll give you a spoiler, I won't tell the story, but he has to walk up this river for reasons. So we've had to design what the up the river looks like and further around, and there's all sorts of things going on there. But that is it. That is the end of my my deep dive from page to picture, what it takes to go from words to having something that we can look at and say, yes, this feels like our world. And now, only now, can we start creating that world in the computer and in 3D. And that in and of itself is as big a task, if not more. And it's just, yeah, it's quite a thing, really. So there's a reminder coming up there to go to angel.com/David if you'd like to express interest in if we were to open up a funding round for this. And let me just double check. Also, the competition. I think let's do some questions first. I'll just do one last reminder though about the competition, that on social media, if you comment on our social media, I think Instagram, I'm not sure where else, but you'll be entered into the draw to win a printed copy of a piece of concept art, which this piece right here, and this was done by Valentina, one of our amazing in-house artists, and I'll announce the winner of that once I'm told it in my ear. That's a good question. And speaking of questions, we can actually go to questions now. Would copies be up for sale later? Terence, we shall discuss that. I'd imagine to some degree. Certainly, I was telling someone the other day, it feels like I'm presently living in an art of book, you know, and it's such a privilege to be a part of this process and all of this, the creation of this work. And absolutely, we will be creating content that you can buy later, that you can explore all the work that's been done. Whether or not big pieces will be up for sale, we shall discuss it, but thank you. And so you mentioned meaning of blue, what about purple? Oh, you see now we need Linton here. So Linton is our art director. I'm going to talk under correction because I know that, I'm going to defer that because there's 12 tribes that make up Israel. And each of them has a color that is assigned to them, and each of them has a stone that is assigned to them, and each of them has an animal, a symbol. And all of that work has been done. I know that red is the color that symbolizes Saul's tribe, who is king, and I think green is the color that symbolizes Judah, which is David's. And I want to say, like, purple to me just always denotes royal, but I can't remember, to be honest, what it denotes in our film. And I've put my phone on airplane mode so Linton can't even message me to tell me what purple in our world means. But certainly the two colors that represent God for us in this movie is the techelet blue, and the reason for that is because of the tassels that the Israelites were commanded to wear were said to had to be that techelet blue, and also as someone commented actually on the beautiful light behind David there, the golden light, that also represents God being present. And we're having to use color a lot to represent God in the film because he's not a tangible character. This is not like the Prince of Egypt where he came in the pillar of fire or anything like that. It's much more in nature and just feeling the presence of God. Yeah. Yes, there's our Linton. Thank you. So you didn't have to WhatsApp me. Purple is a royal and priestly color. There you go. That is our production designer answering your question in real time. I'll just sit back and I'll let the team answer if there's anything that I can't handle. If there's anything, are there any other questions? Okay, so the estimated release date is twofold. For the shorts, and I'm just going to mention this again. So the 5 shorts that we're doing are scheduled to come out autumn next year. So that's autumn 2023, and those are being produced along with Minnow, who's a Christian streaming service, and you can go to them at gominnow.com, GOMINNO.com, and so these 5 shorts, which will be 25 minutes of living in the world of David, will come out next autumn. I say next, autumn 2023. The film is scheduled to come out, I believe, in 2025. So, and I'm sure you'll understand why, considering all the work that I've just shown you that has to be done. So we are presently in production. It hasn't geared up to full production yet, which is why we're gauging interest for further investment, and that's why we're doing this. But all things going well, we are in production. We'll be able to ramp up production soon and get cracking, but it's going to be a good 2.5 years of production and hopefully release in 2025. And I believe that's all the questions, and I think it's because I was so thorough, there's no questions. Okay, and I'm being spoken, my ear is being spoken to, and I'm going to ask you to repeat the name. So we've got a winner for the piece of art. Her name is Chelsea Nunn. I hope I'm getting that right. So, okay. Congratulations, Chelsea. You're going to be getting that piece of concept art. And I'm kind of running out of stuff to let you guys know. Oh, there, good. Chelsea Moon. Okay, well done. And Laurie, thank you. That kind of came up and went, but thank you so much for expressing interest there. It's so wonderful. Just a reminder to go to angel.com/David. Please let people know about this project and share it, get the word out, because there's just the most amazing community that's being built, and the activity and comments that we're getting is just so inspiring for us as a team. And I just want to thank you for your time. Thank you for listening to me and being patient as someone said, they're really fanning out at all of this. It's just the most amazing project to be a part of, and it's wonderful to be able to share it with you. And I cannot wait for you to watch what we're doing. I think you're really going to enjoy it. So thank you again, and from Cape Town, South Africa, have a wonderful night, morning / afternoon, wherever you are. Bye.
Look into my eyes. Do you see fear? You come at me with sword and spear, but I come in the name of the God of Israel.
Yes! Right between the eyes! Did you see that? Anyone? Of course not. Okay then. One more time. Tally, no! I'm trying to protect us from this Philistine. Whoa! No, not that way. Come on. Back to your mom. Right, Philistine. Oh, wait! Right between the eyes. Oh, of course. that one you saw.
Tally! Tally, no! I'm coming, girl! Whoa, easy! Shira! I will bring her home safely. Whoa! Tally, wait, no! There you go. I'm almost in. Okay. Oh! Tally, stop! No! Oh, that doesn't help. That does. Stop. Thank you. Yena haleni nafshi yeshove yancheni b'mgalet tzedek leman shemo.
What you have just watched is a concept short or a musical animated feature film on the story of David, and our vision is to tell it in the same quality as movies like Tangled and Frozen. This is more than a movie. This is a movement to join people from all over the world to try and make the world's most watched animated theatrical release. You can show your interest in investing by going to angel.com/David. Growing up in the wild of Africa was the most incredible experience, and it was there that I bumped into the most amazing character of God and fell in love with him. At the same time, I was reading David's story, and it just really struck me. On one particular canoe trip on the Zambezi River, where you could canoe for days and not see a human being, I was reading the scriptures and I read, "I found in David, son of Jesse, a man after my own heart." And I thought how amazing it would be to do a film that would give people all over the world a glimpse into God's heart. We grew up on a farm that had no electricity. I only saw my first film when I was 14 years old, and it was such an electric experience. I was blown away by the power of film and the power of story to connect with people and move people. And from that day, I became passionate to tell a story on the life of David. The question is, can a group of farmers from Africa make a global hit that's going to reach the world? This is in and of itself an incredible David versus Goliath story.
There's an African proverb that says, if you want to go fast, go alone, but if you want to go far, go together. And in order to tell a story as big as David, we need people from all around the world to come together.
Over the last 20 years, Jackie and I have just been blown away by how God has miraculously drawn talent to us. Now we have the most awesome, high-quality team.
Like Nathan Stanton, who spent 22 years at Pixar, Jonas Myron, a Grammy Award-winning musician, Borja Montoura, a Disney animation alumni, other talent from massive films like Big Hero 6, Tangled, Finding Nemo, Zootopia, Moana, Prince of Egypt, and many more.
Our first breakout hit is Jungle Beat, an incredible and beautiful show. On our YouTube channel, we get over 2 billion views a year. We've got 7 million subscribers. We also recently released our first animated feature film called Jungle Beat the Movie. And incredibly, it was on Netflix's top 10 for over 2 weeks, both live action and animated feature films in the US. We are also doing a theatrical release of Jungle Beat the Movie in China later this year, and are in production of Jungle Beat the Movie 2. What really excites me is if you take Jungle Beat the Movie, we produced that for $5 million. And I'd really encourage you to go and watch it on Netflix to see the quality of movie we produce for that price. And just imagine the quality of movie we could produce on David with the proper budget. With David, we considered the route of engaging with Hollywood, and there is significant interest down that route. But we really felt that from a creative point of view, we need to stay the head and not the tail of this project. And it's a slingshot, like David went with a slingshot to fight Goliath. We really believe that the strategy needs to be outside the Hollywood system for it to work. In this vein, we are thrilled to be working with Angel Studios for distribution. Angel Studios did the TV series The Chosen, which has become the world's biggest TV series on the life of Jesus Christ. The Chosen has generated hundreds of millions of views and tens of millions of dollars. We've already got $19 million of investments and need another $35 million to complete this project. We need your help to bring God's heart to the world through the story of David. Go to angel.com/David to show your support for this project now. And let's join together to try and make the world's most watched animated theatrical release.